Hello and welcome to St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management, Gurgaon. This is online lecture series and we are discussing irrigation engineering, which is in your sixth semester syllabus. I am Rohit Raj from Civil Engineering Department. This is fourth lecture in the series and today we will discuss superpasses. Okay, before this, I would like to take a look in what we have studied in previous lecture. That is, we have studied the basics of cross drainage work, why we require cross drainage work. Okay, basically we are not allowing them to intermix. Okay, but in our in this lecture only we'll study that there are two type of cross drainage works where the water get mixed. Okay, but in the coming uh, lecture, we'll study that these mixing is also allowed up to a extent so that it do not hampers the flow through the canals. Okay, we have seen what are the requirements for aqueduct and why we use siphon aqueduct. In this example, we have seen that how the HFL of the drainage is below the bed level of canal in aqueduct. Now we have studied the siphon aqueduct, okay, in which HFL of drainage is not below the canal bed level. Then we construct a structure where it can come or it can be lowered down. Okay, that is siphon structure. Okay, now we'll study second type of cross drainage work, that is when the drainage passes over irrigation canal. Okay, first we have studied when drainage is below and the canals pass over them. Okay, that structure is aqueduct or siphon aqueduct. Now we'll study situation when drainage passes over irrigation canal, and in that type we'll first see the superpasses and then again similarly we'll see siphon superpasses. Okay, so first we'll study superpasses. What is superpasses? The hydraulic structure in which the drainage is taken, the hydraulic structure in which the drainage is taken over the irrigation canal is known as superpasses. Okay, means when the irrigation canal is below the natural drainage system. The structure is suitable when the bed level of drainage is above the full supply level of canal. Similarly, uh, as same as when we are designing aqueduct structure is only possible when the HFL of drainage, that is highest flood level of drainage, is below the bed level of canal. Here in this case, here the canal is in bottom side, so the FSL, that is full supply level of canal, is below the bed level of drainage. Okay, then we can use superpasses. Otherwise, we'll have to go for siphon superpasses. Okay, I think I've made myself clear that what is the requirement of siphon systems. Okay, the water of the canal passes clearly below the drainage. Okay, therefore we can use the superpasses where the water can pass clearly below the drainage. You can see here with an diagram here, the this is the full supply level of canal and this is the bed level of natural drainage system. Okay, so for this case, if there is natural bed level, the difference is here you can see clearly that the water will pass without intersecting. Therefore, there is no requirement of siphon system. Okay, the FSL of canal is quite below the bed level of natural drainage. Okay. Now we'll see siphon superpassage, the hydraulic structure in which drainage is taken over the irrigation canal, but the canal water passes below the drainage under siphonic action. This is known as siphon superpassage. And why it is required? This structure is suitable when the bed level of drainage is below the full supply level of canal. Means the full supply level of canal is above the bed level of drainage. You can see here in the diagram that the full supply level of canal is above the bed level of drainage, that is here. So what now now we'll choose a structure which has siphonic action. Okay, so we'll use siphonic action to pass the canal water without being intersected or being affected by the bed of natural drainage. Okay, what we'll do, we'll construct this structure. Okay, what is this? This is siphon structure. Okay, in our falls lecture, okay, canal falls, we have studied that we provide these structures with falls so that the steep or gradient can be controlled or maintained, okay, without any ill effect that it's covering generally. Okay, so now we are well aware with the siphonic action. Okay, what is that? This this structure will lead the water in canal to pass without being disturbed with the bed of natural drainage, as the structure lowers the FSL, that is from here it will be lowered to this region, and here it could easily pass from this region. Okay, if this structure won't be there, the it would have been passing, it would have passed from this region, okay, which is it will be affected with the bed of natural drainage system. So with the siphonic action, we can get rid of this problem. Now, till now, what we have studied two situations when in first case, the canal bed is above the highest flood level of the natural drainage system that leads to an hydraulic structure called aqueduct. Second situation is when the canal bed level is below the highest flood level of natural drainage system, but still the drainage system is below the canal system. There we construct a siphonic action by drawing a siphon aqueduct. Okay. Again, we have studied second type when the drainage system is above the canal system. There arises two situation when the full supply level of canal is below the bed level of natural drainage system. That leads to the structure that is superpasses. Okay, this structure superpasses. And second situation when the bed level is above the when the bed level is below the FSL of canal, then this leads to requirement of siphonic action. This will lead to siphon superpasses. Okay. Now third type is drainage and canal intersecting each other at same level. There we can have two structures. One is level crossing and other is inlet and outlet. Okay, inlet and outlet. We'll see each of them one by one. First, we'll study level crossing. When the bed level of canal and the stream are approximately the same. Okay, when the level of canal and streams are approximately same. Yes, both of the situation arises only when the bed level are same. If canal is above, then will create aqueduct, and when drainage is above, then we'll create super passage. And now depending upon the bed level of the upper section will create whether it is the structure will be siphon or not. But if the bed level of both the canal and stream are same, and also the quality of water is same, and there's not difference in their qualities, the cross drainage work constructed is called level crossing. Okay, if the bed level is same, then the situation arises of third system when the drainage and canal intersect each other. Now if the water quality is not very much different, then we'll create level crossing, where water of canal and stream are allowed to mix, means there is no separation of water, the water from a river and water from the canals, they both get mixed at the intersection, at the point, and then water is disposed through canal and stream in required quantity. Okay, now we'll construct will construct a structure or a regulatory structure that will control the disposal of water through canal as well as stream. Okay, that is natural stream or drainage. Okay, so level crossing will have three components, that is crest wall that will be constructed on the natural drainage system, and then we'll have stream regulator and canal regulator. Both of them will perform the same functions, that is both of them will allow the quantity or volume of water to flow through them. Okay, so we'll see with an example. Okay, this is the level of this is the bed level of canal, and this is the bed level of natural drainage. You can see clearly that this is there is no large difference. Okay, but you can notice here that the highest flood level of natural system and full supply level of canal has a quite high difference, but the bed level of both structures is same, therefore we are going for level crossing. Okay, now we'll create these two structures, one for canal and one for river, that is natural drainage system. Both will perform same function, that will regulate the quantity of water. Okay, that will regulate the amount of water, and this is crest wall. Its sole function is to regulate the water, okay, or to control. Okay, now you are familiar, depending upon the requirements will allow the water mixing and uh, collected here, will allow depending upon the requirements to flow, either to flow through this region or to go through this region, depending upon the requirement. Okay, now second type in level apart from level crossing, that is inlet and outlet, when irrigation canal meets a small stream or drain at the same level. Okay, in previous one we have studied that the difference in the water is not very much high. Okay, but here a natural system meets with small streams or drains. Okay, means a canal meets with a small stream or drain, then drain is allowed to enter the canal as an inlet, and at some distance from this inlet, a part of water is allowed to drain out as outlet, which eventually meets the original stream. Stone pitching is required at inlet and outlet. What happens? in inlet and outlet is that this situation arises only when irrigation canal meets with a small stream. Okay, you just mark this point when irrigation canal meets with a small stream. Okay, then the water through this drain is allowed to enter through inlet, means using inlet the water will mix with the canal water. Okay, and after some point, okay, the water is then allowed to drain out from outlet. Okay, and this again meets with the original stream, means it will now flow in the same way as it was flowing before meeting the canal system. Okay, now special provisions are provided at inlet and outlet, that is stone pitching is done. Okay, the bed and banks between the inlet and outlet are also protected by stone pitchings. Okay, the beds and banks means the level, the surface is also protected by stone pitchings. This type of cross drainage work is called inlet and outlet. We'll, will have clear picture after seeing this diagram. Okay, here you can see this is relatively a small system in compare with the canal. Okay, so this point is inlet. Okay, and this is the main canal system. Here the water is mixed with the, here the water get mixed with the canal system at inlet. Okay, and now the water is discharged at this point, and this is called outlet. Okay, and again the water, this water get mixed or get aligned in the same way as it was flowing. Here it was flowing in this way, and again it will be flowing like this. Okay, so this special provision is called, that's to begin with here to here, this special provision is called inlet and outlet system. Okay, where water first mix and then get released out or drained off using outlet. Okay, here we'll be having stone pitching to these reasons where I have marked. Okay, these reasons and this reason. Okay, so this is our inlet and outlet systems. Now, one important thing, you'll keep this in mind, that the stream is small and canal in compare with the canal. This point you have to keep this in mind. You have to keep this always, that small streams, okay, small streams or drainage as compared with the canals. Okay, irrigation canals with strong small streams. Only for small streams will be providing this system. Otherwise, we will have the level crossing where the waters can be regulated using canal and river regulators. Okay, so for small streams, we'll be using inlet and outlet. Okay, that's it with the three situations for cross drainage. First situation was the that leads to a rise of aqueduct when the canal is passing above the natural drainage system. Second situation is super passage when the canal system is passing above the when the natural drainage system is passing above the canal system. And third, when both of them cross each other at same level, there the situation arises of uh, first uh, level crossing and then inlet and outlet. Okay, now we'll see the selection of type of cross drainage work, means which cross drainage work will be using, how we gonna select them. Okay, first, the first and main factor is that, most important factor is that relative bed level. Okay, Till now, we have studied only that how we gonna classify them depending on the bed level. So this is most important. Relative bed levels, according to the relative bed levels, the canal or the river or the drainage, the type of cross drainage works are generally selected. Okay, so this totally depends upon the relative bed levels. The type of cross drainage work are selected. But some problems may come at the crossing points. But yes, there are always some exceptions. Okay, the following points should be remembered while recommending the type of work. Now, if we are recommending, suppose the canal level is canal bed level is uh, high than FS, HFL, highest flood level of natural drainage, then we definitely will suggest aqueduct. But there may be some situations where these recommendations can prove wrong. Okay, we'll see what are the points that we should check. The crossings should be at right angle to each other. Most important. Okay, the crossing must be at right angle to each other. Well-defined crossing of a river or drainage should be available. Okay, and well-defined means that the crossing should be specific. Okay, and well separated. The crossing points, the drainage should be straight for a considerable length, and at the crossing point, the drainage should be straight. Generally, what happens to natural drainage system is that it has the meandering effect. If you are not aware of the term meandering, means river or natural drainage systems water flow in a way that leads to the uh, zigzag path. Okay, they do not flow in a straight line. Instead of that, they flow in zigzag manner. Okay, you will see this like this. Okay, they flow like this. Okay, as when they are in full velocity, they cross the regions and they cut the beds. Okay, they cut these sides and then they get diverted to this section, and when they go this side they cut the bed there and they go more that side. This is called meandering effect. Now we'll be studying them in detail. Okay, till now you just understand that crossings at crossings drainage should be flowing in a straight path, okay, for a considerable length. The width of the drainage should be narrow as far as possible, and natural drainage should be having a least width. Why we require least width is because for construction works, if the width will be higher, then we'll be having extra cost. Okay, to avoid that extra cost, we use natural drainage systems width to be low. Okay, now if the width of the drainage should be narrow as far as possible. Considering the above point, the cross section can be shifted to downstream or upstream. Okay, so all these points will be deciding the cross section as upstream or downstream. Okay, for the construction of cross drainage work, suitable foundation is required. Yes, any civil engineering construction work, suitable foundation should be there. By boring test, if the suitable foundation is not available, then the type of cross drainage work should be selected to the site conditions. Okay, then we'll select a suitable type of cross drainage work. Okay, here one word is missing, that is suitable type of cross drainage work. Means the cross drainage work that is suitable to that particular foundation. Okay, so this much. Okay, now let's see one other topic, that is economic consideration. the cost of construction for cross drainage work, okay, the cost of construction for cross drainage work should be justified with respect to the project cost and overall benefit. Means if we have investments in cross drainage work, that must benefit to that extent. Suppose if somewhere we are constructing any structure like aqueduct or super passage and the cost is too high and it is not benefiting, means the canal is not having not beneficial to the farmers or anything, any work required there to up to that extent, then this work is waste simply because we are putting too much money and we are not having the equal benefits. So we'll have to justify our construction with benefits. Okay, that means the work should be justified with respect to project cost. Okay, this is the economical point of view. Now we'll study, uh, we'll continue from here in our next lecture. Till then, thank you for listening and feel free to ask any doubt. Okay, you can contact on this number, you can text or WhatsApp, or you can just mail on this mail ID. Okay, thank you.